I wanted to be a champion in the ring, but as I went through the repetitions of life, the repetitions in the ring, I also wanted to be a champion in life. I wanted to grow. I wanted to inspire people. And children, once again, you guys are like my key inspiration. So because people said to me, my late father always told me, what goes around comes around. And because that you have that mind structure of what goes around comes around, it is an imperative that I give back the fruits, the recipes of what was given to me. We live in a day and age, like I said, as far as that, as a child, as children, where there's various pressures. And one of the things I can honestly say is I had an ability to use my own mind. I really didn't care what anyone else thought. And what I mean by that is I always like to be that one person who was not doing what everyone else was lured into doing, and where I could go back to my mother or my father and say, well, so-and-so was doing it as well. Because truthfully, the most trouble that I would ever get in at that time is if my father found out that I was doing something along with others. That meant that I wasn't a leader. That meant that I was lured into doing a form of negative display that has a negative conclusion. But I was not using my own mind. So pretty much I was able to have that ability to use my own mind and create my own course. In school, in order for me to be able to travel, because I traveled a lot, I had to keep up with my grades. I couldn't, just because I, box or whatever, my parents weren't letting me, first off, they were not going to put up money that they had to put up for a guy who's messing around in school, being a class clown, as my father would say, or not holding up his scholastic grades. I had to answer the bell, not only in the ring, I had to answer the bell in the classroom. I had to answer the bell with people. Boxing taught me, like I said, as far as adapting the styles, how to deal with people. As far as how to be respectful to people, but also, like I said, not look like because someone is different, that meant that they were the outcast. How do you come in and embrace that person and come together and learn something where it becomes a positive conclusion? You go, gosh, it's kind of like when I'm on an airplane. Even though I like talking, a lot of times I'm on a plane, I'm like, okay, let me just get on this plane and not have to, and then I sit next to someone, and we kind of start talking about what the individual, it gets to what this person does, and they find out what you do. So you start talking, you're on this long flight, and it's interesting, when that does happen, I always feel better that I did talk to that individual. We came together in a sense. We came together, and I felt enriched by that union. I'm been blessed with the ability to take in and like I said, accept and embrace the difference and find the uniqueness in what's all in us. Each of us, collectively. That's all part of the answer the bell method. As I stated before, because I stayed the course, I've been able to travel the world. I've been on the U.S. team. I ended my amateur career at the highest winning percentage in amateur boxing history that still stands, which was 327 wins and 10 losses. Like I said, in addition, I had the opportunity to travel the world. And there's no way, like I said, if I didn't stay the course, if I didn't answer the bell, there's no way that I would have had the opportunity to travel the world. It opened my mind to various other forms of life. I'm a huge, huge Phantom of the Opera fan, huge. I've been able to see that countless times in various places all over the world. I've been able to see certain concerts in other places of some of my favorite people in other places in the world because I answered the bell. But I answered it, and I continue to answer it. So I would turn professional. And one of the things about my boxing career that I found to be kind of funny, my father always taught me, be careful. You treat everyone treat everyone kind, be nice to everyone, which is a structured way I was taught. But for a reason, because boxing, because everyone felt that you had to be mean to be successful. You don't have that instinct. You have to, it's a hurt game. And I didn't see boxing in that fashion. I saw it as something that you go, wow, this is great. If I'm working out hard and I'm very confident about the skill that I've been blessed with, what am I angry about? I'm in great shape. There's nothing to be, I'm not angry. I'm happy to be here to showcase my skills. And I don't have a problem with the opposition. It's only something a technical difference at an amount of time that we're going to have for that, limited amount of time. But there's no hate, there's no disdain. And I just love the art, the artistic value of it. That's the way, and for whatever reason, that didn't sit well with a lot of people. And they used to say, oh, he's not mean enough. And he smiles too much. So they're telling me not to be me. I couldn't do that. If I walked around frowning, and I'm not saying I don't frown, don't get me wrong. My mother used to always say I had my mouth poked out, but there may be issues that make me do it. But consistently, you're going to see me with the smile. And the difference, he watches, okay, here we go. My favorite show I've been watching since 1983 is Young and the Restless. They thought that was going to stop me from being a champion. What does that have to do with anything? I still worked out. I still got up at 4:15 in the morning to run. I didn't shortcut anything. So one of the elements that I had to stay the course and answer the bell was make sure that I didn't fall in line and become that person that they wanted me to become. That I become that mean-spirited individual, because then that's not me. So as I went on to my professional career, everyone thought that to be a pro champion, a world champion, a contender, I would have to be mean. And I would have to, have these other, what they call, I guess, those were intangibles, but that wasn't me. I stayed the course, and I tried to remain nice, and I tried to stay with my vision the way I saw it, the way I saw fit. And I was able to secure my lifelong goal of being, I won my first title on March 25th of 1994. And then I won my second title August 12th of 1995. Now, you got to understand something. When I won these titles, you've got to imagine, I can't tell you, we didn't have a car when I was there, so we drove the bus. We were called the bus fan. We caught the bus everywhere. I can't tell you how many countless times I used to visualize myself as I'm riding the bus stopped going, and me visualizing myself, I'm looking out, being champion. My brother would be asleep in his own world. My mother and father would be behind me, and that would give me an opportunity to sit and ponder and see myself creating and achieving rare feats. And that was one of those right there. So to finally realize that, I can't even properly express the feelings that came over me. But in addition, it gives you also a what's next mindset. Because, once again, if that's all that I have to say about myself, then I'm really, truly, as far as my goals, not saying much about myself, at least not my purpose and my vision, because everything that I try to do has to be, I have a term, thriller. Everything that I take part in has to be thriller. And in doing that, I had to parlay this into other things, be it share, convey, like I said, once again, my ingredients, my recipes, my menu on how I was able to do it to help someone else, or to orchestrate other avenues of my life where I was going to go. One of the things about here, and you've been around today and you've been touring and seeing what your parents, your family members have been doing in this beautiful campus, is innovation. This is a place, this is the place of innovation. And one of the things about when you walk on this campus, you feel it. You feel that swagger, as I like to say, of innovation. And in order to answer the bell, I had to take what I have, like I said, that champion's mindset, and parlay that into other things, be it public speaking, be it the other businesses that I run, be it here on campus here at Qualcomm, because collectively there's a lot of brilliant minds, brilliant ideas, brilliant achievements on this campus. So how do you answer the bell? At between 7 and 12 years old, I would think as far as just going to school and making sure that you are repaying your parents for their hard work and their commitment to you by achieving to your highest level in school, whatever your activities may be, whatever you belong to. Make sure you answer the bell with that champion's mindset. How you treat people. Like I said, I was 8 years old dreaming. Doesn't mean you have to have those type of dreams. Not each of us, like I said, we have our own film, and it's all special and unique. You create your own film on your own time. It just so happened, like I said, 8 years old, I wanted to start mine. But how you treat people, how you accept people, the difference of people, how you can become enriched by listening to people, learning from people. Like I said, I was able to secure three of those total. I have three of those total. And I'm so proud, but I'm proud more so the fact that it didn't stop there. As you see at the end, the journey continues, ... The journey continues because I'm always thinking, I'm always stretching, I'm always believing that I've got more rounds in me to answer the bell. More emotional, more mental stamina invested in me and belief in me that I'm going to still be able to answer the bell even more powerful than you saw on film. I feel like I've just begun. And I challenge you, like I said, at this age right now, knowing what your parents are doing and knowing the commitment and what they've shown you today, have that inspiration to say, gosh, to start writing down things. I write a lot. I mean, anyone who knows me knows that I'm like a trail of writing. I like to write. But it took a while for me to have that confidence to do that. It took a while for me to write down, ... I want to do this, and leave the room and didn't care if someone was looking at it, knowing that it was something that I could honestly achieve, something that I was going to get to at some place. At some time that I was going to achieve that I was going to answer the bell. But like I said, it's imperative that I always reach out to you and let you know, the children, that each of you in here has something positive to render to life. Everyone in here. And I think part of the process is, like I said, knowing what your parents are doing for you, knowing and knowing the commitment and that they put into you, invested in you, what's best for you, going to school, like I said, organizations, things of that nature, and just being the best that you can be, leaving no stone unturned. Hey, Lisa. No stone unturned. Knowing when you look in the mirror that you're doing your best to achieve at this place and time. So I want to thank you for listening to me and hearing my story about Answer the Bell. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. In addition, with the message of Answer the Bell, we've had an individual, a part of our team in Q Life, who has truly been a positive asset to our team for the past 5 weeks. And I've had an opportunity and a pleasure to watch him answer the bell. And he's just been a pleasure. He's been, you get the youth that comes and kind of follows you, and they challenge you, and it gets better. It's like the athletes, of today. It's like they're younger, they're quicker, they're shiftier, and they just have these different gifts. Technology changes, and I've had the pleasure personally to spend 5 weeks with an individual who truly has answered the bell, and I want to give him an opportunity to convey to you his 5 weeks here and how it's been for him and who he is. Could you please give a warm welcome for Mr. Stephen Williams?
Thanks a lot. Paul, I just wanted to thank you. The Q Life team has been great to me here. I want to also, because that was a great speech. Everybody, can we give another round of applause for Paul? Okay. I know everybody's kind of been on this tour all day and everybody's kind of restless. Can we stand up right quick? Just want to stand up. Give yourself a 5-second stretch. Just kind of. Yeah. Kind of get it out. All right, thanks a lot. Yeah. Now, in that stretch, I heard a lot of kids. So this age range is about 7 to 12, right? Okay. Now, 7 to 12, I love superheroes. Paul mentioned superheroes. He was talking about Batman and Superman. I'm going to do something right quick. In this section right here, just shout out a superhero. I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, I'm going to go through this section right here. We're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. Someone said SpongeBob. Okay. We're going to go in this section right here. 1, 2, 3. Harry Potter. Okay. So I got to see who your superheroes are. One superhero that I liked in particular, I don't know if you guys remember him, Batman. I love Batman. And one thing that's interesting about a superhero, I think in particular, is that a superhero has different layers to themselves. They have one layer that's the superhero when he goes out at night and he fights crime and he does the things that makes him the superhero he is. And then you also have the regular person. You have the other person that is in the work office that's making phone calls, doing his job, kind of like your parents a little bit. They come to work, they do their jobs, they do the things that, provide a roof for you. And I remember when I was 8 years old, I took all my toys. I wanted to make my mom proud one day. So I took all my toys, I put them in a laundry basket. I took them outside and I put them on the line and I started selling them. I sold them off at about 5 cents a toy. Yeah, I'm a little entrepreneur, I guess. So I started selling them off. I had cars that would stop in the middle of the street and kind of pull over and kind of come over and be like, hey, what's that right there? Oh, I want that one. And then I started, yeah, give me 5 cents. And that was one layer to me. Because later on, when I hit 11, I sold VHS. I don't know if anybody remembers VHS tapes. No? Before DVDs and Blu-ray. But I started selling those off. Once my mom needed extra money around the house, so I went around the neighborhood, had some VHSs that I had, and started selling them off. Now that's just one layer to myself. Now would that make me a salesman in life? No. Later on, as I started coming into high school, I started taking an interest in banking. So I actually started an internship with Bank of America. I had learned a little bit about banking, and I thought that was going to be my goal in life. And I pursued it for a little bit, but then come to find out, that wasn't the field for me. But I kept the skill, and that's the important part I want to stress. Don't be afraid to be creative and dream. Because one thing it will do for you is it will help you become a multi-layered person. You have people that they like to sing And then you have people like Paul that like to box, but that are the same person. You know, you may catch him, you know, maybe he was singing Michael Jackson while he was punching the punching bag. I mean, there's a lot of examples of very multi-layered people. If you know about Kyle Lucan, he actually has a background in music therapy, but he works in Q Life to help out with the employees. If you knew about, I don't know if anybody knew Iron Jacobs, his actual original major was in hospitality before he ever took up his role in engineering. Dave Beadle, he was in the military before he even started in Q Life. And these are examples of different types of people. You may find yourself as 7 to 12, you might find yourself, you know, I like to write, but then I also like to run. And it's okay. And that's good that you're that way. Because a multi-layered person later on in life, that'll help you out as far as resources and skills. You're not just stuck in one place. And that's one thing I can appreciate about Paul, because he may have been a world champion boxer, but at the same time, he's still in corporate America. He has different layers to himself. And that's important to have. So one thing I challenge you to answer the bell with is to kind of learn from other superheroes and see how you can incorporate their skills into your skill set.